Ladies and gentlemen, life is full of ups and downs, challenges, and moments that test our limits. We all encounter difficult situations, whether personal struggles, professional hurdles, or unforeseen circumstances. The key to overcoming these obstacles is to cultivate inner strength. Today, I want to talk to you about how to become strong in any situation, how to build resilience, and how to face adversity with courage and grace. One of the first things we need to understand in our journey toward becoming strong in any situation is that challenges are inevitable. Life is unpredictable and no one is immune to facing adversity. Whether it's a personal loss, a professional setback, a health issue, or a sudden change in circumstances, everyone will at some point encounter obstacles that test their endurance and resolve. In fact, the very nature of life is that it is full of uncertainties, and those uncertainties often bring us face to face with difficult situations that we didn't expect or want. The key to becoming strong lies not in avoiding these challenges, but in accepting that they are a natural part of the human experience. We cannot live a life devoid of struggles, nor should we expect to. Imagine a world where everything is perfect, no conflict, no loss, no struggles to overcome. Such a world would leave little room for growth. It's through challenges that we discover our true strength. The hardships we face, no matter how difficult, are the very things that shape us into resilient, compassionate, and capable individuals. That understanding and accepting this fact, we stop resisting the inevitable and start to shift our mindset. Instead of asking, why me? When we face tough situations, we begin asking, what can I learn from this? This shift in perspective helps us face challenges with a sense of openness rather than fear. It frees us from the paralyzing effect of shock or despair when things go wrong. If we resist or deny challenges, we waste energy in fighting what is unavoidable. And in doing so, we prevent ourselves from learning from the experience. Furthermore, challenges, when met with the right attitude, often reveal hidden strengths we never knew we had. For instance, a major setback at work might initially feel like a failure, but it could also be an opportunity to learn new skills, meet new people, or develop a new approach to your work that propels you forward in unexpected ways. A personal crisis could foster deeper empathy, a stronger connection to others, or the courage to pursue a long-held dream. The inevitability of challenges doesn't mean that life is cruel or unfair. Rather, it's a powerful reminder that we are capable of handling more than we might give ourselves credit for. Every obstacle we face is an invitation to grow. The more challenges we experience and successfully navigate, the stronger we become, both mentally and emotionally. Each time we overcome something difficult, we add to our resilience toolkit, which equips us to deal with future obstacles more effectively. Therefore, accepting that challenges are an inherent part of life doesn't diminish our ability to cope with them. It enhances it. The sooner we accept this truth, the sooner we can begin to navigate life's difficulties with more ease, confidence, and strength. The power of mindset cannot be overstated when it comes to becoming strong in any situation. A positive mindset is the foundation upon which resilience is built. It's easy to fall into negativity when facing adversity, but maintaining a positive outlook, even in the most difficult circumstances, can make all the difference in how we handle life's challenges. It's not about ignoring the reality of the situation, but rather choosing to approach it with a constructive and optimistic perspective. First and foremost, a positive mindset allows you to maintain a sense of hope, which is a critical component in overcoming hardship. When faced with a challenging situation, people with a positive mindset are more likely to believe that things will improve, even when the road ahead seems uncertain. This belief in a better outcome fuels perseverance and keeps you moving forward rather than getting stuck in feelings of helplessness or despair. Hope is what drives people to take action, even when they don't know exactly how things will turn out, and it helps them to maintain a sense of purpose throughout the journey. However, adopting a positive mindset isn't about pretending everything is okay when it's not. It's about choosing to focus on what can be learned, what can be changed, and what opportunities might emerge from the situation. It's about shifting your focus from the problem itself to possible solutions. This shift in focus can be incredibly empowering. For example, if you lose a job, instead of getting lost in thoughts of failure and self-doubt, a positive mindset encourages you to see it as an opportunity to reevaluate your career, learn new skills, or even pursue a passion you've been putting off. The situation, though difficult, becomes a stepping stone rather than a dead end. Additionally, cultivating a positive mindset helps you manage your emotions in stressful situations. Negative emotions such as anger, frustration, and fear are natural, but if you allow them to control your thoughts and actions, they can cloud your judgment and hinder your ability to think clearly or find effective solutions. A positive mindset, on the other hand, helps you acknowledge these emotions without allowing them to dominate your actions. It encourages you to respond thoughtfully and constructively rather than reacting impulsively or emotionally. For example, instead of becoming defensive or discouraged when faced with criticism, someone with a positive mindset will see it as a chance to grow and improve, using feedback to better themselves rather than letting it undermine their confidence. One of the most powerful aspects of a positive mindset is its ability to influence our behavior and actions. Thoughts have a profound impact on what we do. If you believe that you can overcome challenges and that setbacks are temporary, you are more likely to take proactive steps to address them. Positive thinking can inspire creativity and problem solving, and it can help you stay motivated even when the going gets tough. When things get difficult, it's easy to feel like giving up is the only option. But a positive mindset shifts this thinking toward finding ways to keep moving forward. It reminds you that there's always something you can do, even if it's just taking small steps or learning from the experience. Moreover, a positive mindset isn't limited to how we think about external situations. It also influences how we think about ourselves. Self-belief is a crucial component of strength, and a positive mindset fosters confidence and self-compassion. When you believe in your own ability to handle challenges, you're more likely to take risks, make decisions, and face difficulties with confidence. Conversely, a negative mindset often leads to self-doubt, indecisiveness, and fear of failure, which can prevent us from even trying. Cultivating a positive mindset involves reinforcing the idea that setbacks don't define you, they are just a part of the process of growth and learning. Additionally, a positive mindset can create a ripple effect in the people around you. When you maintain optimism in difficult situations, you inspire others to do the same. People are often drawn to those who can remain composed and hopeful in the face of adversity. And this positivity can create a support system that fosters collective resilience. The energy you project can influence not only your own experiences, but also those of your friends, family, and colleagues. By maintaining a positive attitude, you become a source of strength for others, and together you can navigate challenges more effectively. In essence, developing a positive mindset is not about denying reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on the things that you can control, taking responsibility for your reactions, and seeking opportunities for growth and improvement. By shifting your mindset to one that is solution-oriented and hopeful, you are better equipped to handle life's challenges with strength, grace, and resilience. Mental resilience is the foundation of strength in any situation. It refers to our ability to withstand, adapt, and recover from adversity. Resilience is not something we are born with, but rather something we can develop over time through experience, practice, and intentional effort. It is what allows us to bounce back from difficulties, to maintain composure during challenging times, and to emerge from hardships stronger than before. Building mental resilience doesn't mean that we will never experience pain, frustration, or loss. Rather, it means that we will have the mental tools necessary to navigate those emotions and challenges, and to emerge on the other side more equipped to face whatever life throws at us next. At its core, mental resilience is about maintaining a sense of stability and clarity, even in the most turbulent circumstances. Life is unpredictable and setbacks are a certainty, but our ability to navigate those setbacks effectively depends largely on how we approach them mentally. People with mental resilience are able to stay calm under pressure, think logically, and remain focused on the solutions rather than getting overwhelmed by the problem. This doesn't mean they don't experience stress or emotions, but rather that they have developed the ability to regulate those emotions, reducing their power to derail them. One of the first steps in building mental resilience is learning to manage stress effectively. Stress is an inevitable part of life, especially when facing difficult circumstances. However, how we respond to stress can make a huge difference in how we cope with challenges. Resilient individuals are able to manage stress in a way that prevents it from taking over their lives. This might include practicing relaxation techniques such as deep breathing, meditation, or mindfulness. These practices allow us to calm our minds, reduce anxiety, and increase our ability to think clearly in difficult situations. Regularly engaging in stress-reducing activities helps to build a mental framework that allows us to stay grounded when challenges arise. Another important aspect of mental resilience is the ability to adapt to change. Life is always changing, and the ability to roll with the punches and adapt to new circumstances is crucial for maintaining mental strength. Resilient individuals are flexible in their thinking and are open to new solutions when things don't go according to plan. They are not rigid in their expectations of how life should unfold. Instead, they learn to adjust, reframe their thinking, and make the best of new situations. This adaptability allows them to bounce back more quickly when life presents an unexpected challenge, whether that's a sudden job loss, a relationship breakdown, or an unforeseen health issue. The more adaptable we are, the more resilient we become, because we don't view change as an obstacle, but as an opportunity for growth and learning. Building mental resilience also involves learning to embrace failure and setbacks as part of the process. Failure is often seen as something to be feared, but in reality, it is one of the best teachers we can have. Each failure provides us with valuable lessons that help us improve and grow. Resilient individuals don't see failure as a permanent state, but as a stepping stone toward success. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth or abilities, but a necessary part of the journey toward mastery. By reframing failure as an opportunity for growth, we remove the fear and self-doubt that often accompany setbacks, allowing us to recover more quickly and keep moving forward. Resilience also involves cultivating a sense of purpose and meaning in life. When we have a clear sense of why we are doing something, we are more likely to persevere through adversity. Purpose gives us the drive to keep pushing forward even when the road gets tough. This sense of purpose could come from many sources, whether it's our career, our family, our personal values, or our long-term goals. Having something to strive for, even in the face of difficulties, provides us with the motivation to endure hardship and to see challenges as part of a greater journey. Self-awareness plays a critical role in mental resilience. Being aware of our own thoughts, emotions, and reactions allows us to manage them more effectively. Resilient individuals have a high level of emotional intelligence and can identify when they are becoming overwhelmed or stressed, allowing them to take steps to regain control before those emotions escalate. Self-awareness also involves recognizing our strengths and weaknesses, which enables us to focus on the areas in which we excel while working to improve those areas where we may struggle. By understanding ourselves better, we are able to navigate difficult situations more effectively and with greater confidence. In addition to these internal strategies, building mental resilience also requires external support. While resilience is often thought of as an individual trait, no one can be truly resilient in isolation. We all need support from others to help us through tough times. Building a strong network of supportive friends, family, or mentors can provide us with the encouragement, guidance, and perspective we need when things get tough. Resilient individuals are not afraid to reach out for help when needed, whether it's asking for advice, seeking professional support, or simply leaning on others for emotional strength. Knowing that we have a support system in place helps to reduce the feelings of isolation and helplessness that can arise in challenging situations. Finally, building mental resilience requires patience and persistence. It's not something that happens overnight, nor is it something that can be fully mastered in a short amount of time. It is a continuous process of learning, adapting, and growing stronger. Each time we face a challenge and overcome it, we are adding to our resilience toolkit. The more we practice these strategies, the more naturally they will come to us when we face future difficulties. Just as physical strength is built through consistent training and effort, mental resilience is developed through consistent practice of positive habits, emotional regulation, and adaptive thinking. By committing to the ongoing process of building resilience, we ensure that we are always prepared to handle whatever comes our way with strength and grace. Taking responsibility for your actions is one of the most empowering steps you can take in becoming strong in any situation. It means owning up to your choices, decisions, and behaviors, regardless of the outcome. Responsibility is not about assigning blame to oneself, but about recognizing the power we have over our responses to life's challenges. When we take responsibility, we take control of our own destiny, and we step into a position where we can learn, grow, and change for the better. This fundamental principle is the key to resilience and personal growth. One of the first steps in taking responsibility is acknowledging that we are in control of how we respond to situations, even if we don't control the circumstances themselves. Life is full of unpredictable events. And while we can't always control what happens to us, we always have the power to control how we react to those events. Whether it's a difficult conversation, a setback in our career, or a personal loss, how we respond can define the outcome of that situation. For example, if a project at work doesn't go as planned, rather than blaming external factors or others involved, a responsible person will examine their own actions, recognize what went wrong, and consider how to improve in the future. By taking responsibility, we empower ourselves to change the trajectory of our lives, rather than passively allowing external forces to dictate our emotional and mental well-being. Taking responsibility also means being honest with ourselves about our strengths and weaknesses. It's easy to point fingers when things go wrong, but real growth begins when we look inward and examine how we can improve. This level of self-honesty involves admitting when we've made mistakes and acknowledging where we've fallen short. This doesn't mean beating ourselves up or allowing guilt to take over. It means recognizing areas where we need to grow and being proactive. This self-awareness can be incredibly difficult, especially when our actions have led to negative consequences. But it is this very awareness that allows us to evolve. Taking responsibility in this way turns mistakes into valuable lessons, where the focus is not on the error itself, but on the opportunity to learn and become better. Furthermore, taking responsibility encourages us to be more proactive and take initiative. It is a mindset that shifts from passive acceptance to active engagement. When we take responsibility for our lives, we stop waiting for things to change or for others to solve our problems. Instead, we understand that change starts with us. There's something in our lives that we're not happy with, whether it's a relationship, a job situation, or a personal goal. We don't wait for the situation to improve on its own. We take the necessary steps to make things better. This proactive attitude empowers us to create the circumstances we desire rather than simply reacting to external events. Taking responsibility means taking ownership of our role in our own lives and realizing that we have the ability to influence outcomes through our actions, decisions, and attitude. When we take responsibility for our actions, we also develop a greater sense of accountability. Accountability is essential for personal growth and development. When we hold ourselves accountable, we acknowledge the consequences of our actions and commit to making things right. This could mean apologizing when we've hurt someone, making amends when we've made a mistake, or taking ownership of a situation and working toward a resolution. Accountability drives us to keep our promises and to follow through on our commitments, which in turn builds trust with others and strengthens our personal integrity. It's easy to deflect blame or make excuses, but taking responsibility forces us to confront our shortcomings, which ultimately makes us stronger, more dependable, and more trustworthy. An important aspect of taking responsibility is the understanding that we can't control everything around us, but we can control how we react to life's challenges. When we face difficult situations, especially when they involve others, it's easy to fall into the trap of blaming the people or circumstances involved. However, taking responsibility means recognizing that while we may not control what happens to us, we do control how we deal with it. For instance, if a friend lets you down or a colleague undermines your efforts, taking responsibility does not mean accepting the wrongdoing. It means choosing how you will respond. Will you hold resentment, or will you approach the situation with understanding and a constructive attitude? Taking responsibility empowers you to choose the latter, which leads to more positive outcomes in the long run. Another critical element of taking responsibility is the willingness to let go of victimhood. While it's natural to feel victimized at times, holding on to a mindset of being a victim limits our power. If we constantly believe that things happen to us beyond our control, we deny ourselves the opportunity to learn, grow, and change. Taking responsibility removes the sense of helplessness and replaces it with a sense of agency. Instead of asking, "Why does this always happen to me?" we begin asking, "What can I do to change my situation?" This shift in mindset enables us to stop feeling trapped by our circumstances and instead feel empowered to take action and make things better. By letting go of the victim mentality, we reclaim control over our lives and open ourselves up to greater opportunities. Moreover, when we take responsibility, we also stop externalizing our problems and recognize that at the core, many of our struggles are rooted in our own decisions, beliefs, or behaviors. Of course, there are situations beyond our control, but the key to lasting change and strength lies in focusing on the aspects we can influence. It's easy to blame a tough upbringing, a challenging relationship, or external events for our circumstances, but it's only by accepting responsibility that we can break free from these limiting beliefs and patterns. This doesn't mean we blame ourselves for everything that happens, but it does mean we take ownership of our part in any given situation and how we can work toward positive change. Taking responsibility also nurtures a sense of personal empowerment. When we recognize our role in the outcomes of our lives, we stop feeling like passive observers and become active participants in our journey. This sense of empowerment is crucial for building strength, as it reinforces the belief that we are in control of our future. By taking responsibility for our actions and decisions, we reinforce the notion that we have the power to shape our lives. And with this understanding, we approach challenges with a stronger sense of purpose and confidence. Ultimately, taking responsibility is an act of self-respect. It is an acknowledgement that we are the creators of our own lives, and we have the ability to influence our circumstances through our actions, thoughts, and choices. It allows us to grow, learn from our mistakes, and build resilience in the face of adversity. By owning our actions and decisions, we not only become stronger individuals, but we also contribute positively to the world around us, creating a ripple effect that encourages responsibility in others. Taking responsibility is a transformative practice that lays the groundwork for strength in any situation. Self-discipline is one of the most critical components of becoming strong in any situation. It is the ability to control one's impulses, emotions, and behaviors in the face of external demands to achieve a greater goal. Self-discipline is the skill that enables us to make decisions that align with our long-term objectives, even when short-term temptations or distractions arise. Without it, even the best of intentions can fall short, and our dreams and aspirations can remain out of reach. Cultivating self-discipline is not always easy, but it is one of the most powerful tools we can develop to navigate the complexities of life and achieve lasting success. At its core, self-discipline is about consistency. It's the ability to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. It's the ability to stay committed to your goals regardless of the external pressures or distractions that may try to pull you off course. Whether it's waking up early to exercise, sticking to a work schedule, or avoiding unhealthy habits, self-discipline ensures that you stay on track toward your bigger goals even when it's challenging. It's not about being perfect or never slipping up. It's about consistently choosing the path that aligns with your long-term vision and not letting temporary circumstances dictate your actions. One key aspect of cultivating self-discipline is setting clear and specific goals. Having a well-defined goal provides direction and purpose, and it makes it easier to stay disciplined. When we have a clear vision of what we want to achieve, it becomes easier to make decisions that align with that vision. For instance, if your goal is to get in shape, having a concrete plan of action, such as working out 3 times a week or eating a balanced diet, gives you something specific to work toward. Without this clarity, self-discipline can become difficult because there is no clear target or reason for maintaining focus. Setting both short-term and long-term goals helps break down larger tasks into manageable steps, making it easier to stay disciplined and motivated along the way. Building self-discipline also requires developing good habits. Habits are the building blocks of discipline. The actions we take every day, whether they are positive or negative, become ingrained over time and shape who we are. Cultivating self-discipline involves replacing bad habits with better ones, habits that support our goals and help us stay focused on the bigger picture. For example, if you're trying to improve your productivity, one of the first steps may be to break the habit of procrastination by creating a structured daily routine and sticking to it. This routine could involve setting aside specific times for work, exercise, and relaxation. Over time, as you consistently follow this routine, it becomes second nature and your self-discipline strengthens. Another important element of self-discipline is learning to delay gratification. In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly surrounded by instant rewards and distractions. From social media to entertainment, there are endless temptations that can pull us away from our goals. However, True self-discipline involves the ability to resist these temptations in favor of long-term rewards. It means choosing the difficult but rewarding path now for a more fulfilling future. For example, instead of mindlessly scrolling through your phone, you might choose to spend that time working on a project or learning a new skill. The ability to delay gratification is what helps us stay focused on what truly matters, rather than giving in to momentary desires that may lead us further away from our goals. Self-discipline also involves maintaining control over our emotions. Life is full of situations that challenge our patience, resilience, and emotional balance. Whether we're dealing with a stressful work environment, a difficult relationship, or unexpected setbacks, maintaining emotional control is key to staying disciplined. Emotions like anger, frustration, or anxiety can cloud our judgment and lead to impulsive decisions. Developing self-discipline means learning to manage these emotions effectively so they don't drive our actions. For example, instead of reacting impulsively when faced with criticism, someone with strong self-discipline would take a moment to pause, breathe, and respond calmly and thoughtfully. By keeping our emotions in check, we make better decisions and are less likely to act in ways that contradict our long-term objectives. Accountability is another essential element of self-discipline. Holding ourselves accountable helps us stay on track and follow through on our commitments. It's easy to make excuses or justify bad behavior, but self-discipline means taking ownership of our actions, regardless of how difficult it might be. One way to stay accountable is to track our progress. Whether it's a fitness goal, a financial target, or a career milestone, keeping track of our achievements allows us to see how far we've come and identify areas that need improvement. Furthermore, having someone to hold us accountable, such as a mentor, coach, or even a friend, can significantly increase our chances of success. Knowing that someone else is invested in our progress can motivate us to stay disciplined, even when we feel tempted to give up or take shortcuts. One of the challenges in cultivating self-discipline is learning to push through discomfort. Whether we're pursuing personal growth, physical fitness, or a professional achievement, progress often requires us to push past our comfort zones. Self-discipline means continuing to take action even when things feel difficult or uncomfortable. This might mean waking up early for a morning workout, sticking to a challenging project despite obstacles, or having a difficult but necessary conversation with someone. While discomfort is often a sign of growth, many people avoid it because it feels easier to stay in their comfort zone. Self-discipline helps us recognize that growth requires stepping outside of that comfort zone and continuing to move forward despite the discomfort. The more we practice this, the more we realize that discomfort is temporary, but the rewards of pushing through it can be long-lasting. In addition to pushing through discomfort, self-discipline involves maintaining a sense of patience. Achieving long-term goals doesn't happen overnight. It requires persistence, hard work, and a willingness to stay on course even when progress feels slow. Self-discipline means not giving up when things aren't happening as quickly as we'd like. Instead of expecting immediate results, we learn to trust the process and stay focused on the long-term vision. For example, building a successful business or completing a long-term project may take months or even years, but the discipline to keep working toward it every day, even when it seems like there's little progress, is what ultimately leads to success. Finally, self-discipline is a practice in self-respect. The ability to follow through on our commitments, even when it's hard, reinforces our belief in our own worth and capabilities. Every time we make the difficult decision to stay disciplined, we demonstrate to ourselves that we are worthy of achieving our goals. It's a form of self-care as it builds trust in ourselves and our ability to create the life we want. This inner strength and confidence, built through the consistent practice of self-discipline, becomes an essential component in navigating life's challenges with resilience and strength. Emotional intelligence, EI, is an essential skill for becoming strong in any situation. It refers to our ability to recognize, understand, manage, and influence our own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. Unlike traditional measures of intelligence, which focus primarily on cognitive abilities, emotional intelligence emphasizes the importance of emotional awareness and interpersonal skills in navigating life's challenges. Developing emotional intelligence equips us with the tools to handle stress, build healthy relationships, and respond effectively to the demands of everyday life. In essence, emotional intelligence is what allows us to remain calm under pressure, communicate effectively, and make decisions that align with our values and long-term goals. At its core, emotional intelligence is made up of 5 key components: self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. Each of these elements plays a vital role in building resilience and emotional strength. Developing emotional intelligence is not an overnight process, but rather a lifelong journey of introspection, practice, and growth. However, the benefits of cultivating emotional intelligence are immeasurable, especially when faced with challenging circumstances that test our patience, judgment, and composure. Self-awareness is the first pillar of emotional intelligence, and it refers to the ability to recognize and understand our own emotions. It is the foundation upon which emotional intelligence is built, as we cannot effectively manage our emotions unless we first understand them. Self-awareness involves being in tune with our feelings, identifying the triggers that cause emotional reactions, and reflecting on how our emotions impact our thoughts and behaviors. It's about recognizing patterns in our emotional responses and understanding why we feel the way we do in different situations. For example, when faced with a difficult decision, someone with high emotional intelligence might pause to examine how their emotions are influencing their judgment. Are they feeling anxious, frustrated, or excited? Are those emotions guiding them toward impulsive choices, or are they clouding their ability to think clearly? Developing self-awareness is essential because it allows us to take a step back and view situations objectively. It helps us gain insight into why we might react negatively in certain scenarios, or why we may have trouble managing our stress. By recognizing these emotional patterns, we can then work to address them and respond in a more balanced and thoughtful way. Practices like journaling, mindfulness, and meditation are powerful tools for cultivating self-awareness, as they encourage us to regularly check in with ourselves and examine our emotions without judgment. Self-regulation is the second component of emotional intelligence, and it refers to the ability to control our emotional responses and behaviors, particularly in challenging or stressful situations. Self-regulation involves managing impulsive reactions, keeping our emotions in check, and resisting the urge to act out of frustration, anger, or fear. Instead of allowing our emotions to dictate our actions, self-regulation allows us to pause, reflect, and choose a more appropriate course of action. This ability is especially important in high-pressure situations where it is easy to become overwhelmed and react impulsively. For instance, imagine being in a heated discussion at work where tensions are rising and emotions are starting to flare. Someone with strong self-regulation skills might notice the physical signs of anger or frustration building up, such as rapid breathing or clenched fists, and take a moment to breathe deeply and collect their thoughts before responding. This self-awareness allows them to avoid saying something they might regret, and it gives them the opportunity to respond calmly and constructively. Over time, practicing self-regulation can help us become more emotionally resilient, as we learn how to remain composed even when circumstances are less than ideal. It's not about suppressing emotions, but rather about managing them in a way that leads to positive outcomes. Motivation is the third pillar of emotional intelligence, and it refers to the ability to harness our emotions to stay focused and motivated, even when faced with obstacles. People with high emotional intelligence are able to maintain a positive attitude and keep their eye on the prize despite setbacks or disappointments. They are driven by intrinsic motivation, the inner desire to achieve goals because they align with personal values and passions rather than by external rewards like recognition or money. Motivation helps us persevere through difficult times and push through challenges with determination and resilience. For example, when pursuing a long-term goal, such as running a marathon or completing a challenging project at work, motivation can be the difference between giving up when things get tough and continuing to push forward. Emotional intelligence helps us maintain that inner drive and passion, reminding us of the bigger picture when immediate rewards or recognition are not forthcoming. People with strong motivation are also more likely to set meaningful, realistic goals for themselves and work toward them consistently, rather than getting distracted by short-term distractions or temporary setbacks. They are able to channel their emotions into productive action, making progress toward their goals despite difficulties. Empathy is the fourth component of emotional intelligence, and it refers to the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. Empathy allows us to connect with people on a deeper level as we are able to put ourselves in their shoes and respond with compassion and understanding. It is the ability to recognize emotional cues in others, such as body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions, and to respond appropriately to those emotions. Empathy is critical for building strong, trusting relationships, as it shows others that we care about their feelings and are willing to listen and support them. In a challenging situation, empathy enables us to offer the right kind of support, whether it's providing a listening ear, offering encouragement, or simply showing understanding. For example, if a friend is going through a difficult breakup, showing empathy might mean acknowledging their pain and offering comfort rather than offering unsolicited advice or dismissing their feelings. In a work environment, empathy can help us navigate conflicts, build stronger teams, and improve communication. It enables us to see things from multiple perspectives, fostering collaboration and mutual respect. By developing empathy, we can improve our interpersonal relationships and build stronger, more supportive communities. Finally, social skills are the fifth component of emotional intelligence, and they refer to the ability to build and maintain healthy relationships with others. Social skills encompass a range of abilities, including communication, conflict resolution, teamwork, and leadership. People with high emotional intelligence are able to navigate social interactions with ease, building rapport, resolving conflicts constructively, and collaborating effectively with others. Strong social skills enable us to influence and inspire others, whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or larger social contexts. For example, in a leadership role, social skills are essential for motivating and guiding a team toward success. A leader with high emotional intelligence will be able to communicate clearly, listen actively, and adapt their approach to suit the needs of different individuals. They will know when to provide constructive feedback, when to offer support, and how to encourage collaboration and creativity within their team. Social skills also play a crucial role in conflict resolution. When disagreements arise, emotionally intelligent individuals are able to approach the situation with empathy, understanding, and a focus on finding a win-win solution rather than letting emotions escalate and further strain the relationship. Developing emotional intelligence involves a continual process of self-reflection, learning, and practice. It requires us to be aware of our emotions, regulate our impulses, stay motivated in the face of adversity, understand and connect with others, and build strong interpersonal relationships. Emotional intelligence is not something we can simply read about or learn in a short amount of time. It's something we must actively cultivate and refine through real-life experiences and challenges. By investing in our emotional intelligence, we lay the groundwork for becoming strong, resilient individuals who are able to face any situation with grace, composure, and confidence. In conclusion, becoming strong in any situation requires a mindset that is constantly evolving, one that embraces resilience, emotional intelligence, and continuous growth. It's not about avoiding challenges or striving for perfection, but about learning how to navigate adversity with grace, patience, and perseverance. By developing self-discipline, cultivating emotional intelligence, and committing to lifelong learning, we equip ourselves with the tools necessary to face the complexities of life with confidence. Strength isn't just a matter of physical prowess or mental toughness. It's the ability to adapt, grow, and remain steadfast in the pursuit of our goals, no matter the obstacles that stand in our way. Remember, each experience, good or bad, is an opportunity to learn and become stronger. So continue to grow, stay open to new possibilities, and embrace the power of learning, because in doing so, you will develop the strength to handle anything life throws your way.